Hi, and welcome to Inside Issaquah, our quarterly magazine show where we show you what's going on in your community. Today, learn more about local veterans who are improving our open space, get a behind-the-scenes tour of Village Theater, and learn what you can do to be prepared for emergencies. Please join us. Are you ready for the next big emergency, like an earthquake or a winter storm? We sat down with Issaquah Citizen Corps' Susan Waters to talk more about resources and classes available here in Issaquah to help you become more prepared.
Issaquah Citizen Corps is a nonprofit organization situated here in Issaquah. I believe it was started in about 2005. Its mission is to basically prepare people, offer training, and make them aware of the need for personal preparedness. We offer a number of programs and a number of training opportunities. Among those, we have a program called CERT, which stands for Community Emergency Response Team. I'm an instructor with that organization. To this point, we have trained several hundred residents here in Issaquah. We offer classes, CERT classes, twice a year in the spring and in the fall. It's a 9-week course. Covers everything from basic personal preparedness to fire safety and fire suppression. You actually get to use a fire extinguisher and put out a small fire. It's kind of fun. We cover light search and rescue. We cover basic disaster first aid. It also covers disaster psychology, how to deal with some of the things you may see or experience during a major event like that. The City of Issaquah is incredibly supportive of us. We love them. They allow us to use the facility here in Issaquah for our training. And it's supplemented, so it's very low cost for Issaquah residents. As I say, 9 weeks. It culminates with a final drill where we do a disaster simulation. We try to make it as realistic as possible with, theatrics and fake blood and a little confusion here and there, just to kind of give you a little taste of what it might be like in this kind of overwhelming situation. It's a standardized curriculum that FEMA has set forward. So you can take this training and go anywhere in the country to another certified CERT program, and I'll be talking the same language. It's been standardized.
Notice that large retailers in Issaquah are no longer allowed to use plastic bags. To learn more about this new rule, check out our next segment.
Starting March 1st, large retailers in Issaquah will no longer be able to use thin, single-use, carry-out bags, although some will be going through remaining stock. Stores will also be required to charge customers a nickel for paper bags. Choose reusable to help the environment. Plastic bags are made of non-renewable resources and are a local and global litter concern, particularly in the marine environment. They do not degrade, and only 14% of the 6 to 8 million bags used in Issaquah are recovered for recycling every year.
Well, I think it's a way for Issaquah people to make a small change in their daily routine that's going to have a big long-term positive impact on the environment here and for all the future generations that end up living here. And so I think America's goal in general is just let's find the small little tweaks we can do in our daily life that over the space of many generations will have a huge positive impact on our natural surroundings. And I think Seattle is the big gorilla in the room. So, you know, you could sit here in Issaquah and say it'd be great to ban plastic bags, but then the logistics that places like Fred Meyer, QFC, Target would have to go through just for this town of 30,000 people would be tough for them to swallow. But we had this unique opportunity where the city right next door to us, you know, of 600,000 people, the largest city in the state, enacted the legislation. And so you've kind of got this window where all these large retailers are making the adjustment so they can fit into Seattle. And I think it created a unique window of opportunity for all the cities that surround Seattle to hop on and say, you know what, that's a good idea. We want to send a message to people. This isn't just a Seattle thing, that people who don't live in Seattle also care about taking small steps to help the environment. And so if Seattle hadn't done it, I know I personally would have never proposed that Issaquah do it on its own in an island. For me, it was a window opened up when Seattle passed their legislation. So that's why the timing of now.
If you forget your reusable bag, please recycle your paper bag. Do you have piles of plastic bags at your house? They can be recycled curbside in Issaquah or returned to many retailers. Bag all plastic bags in a plastic bag, tie shut, and place in your curbside recycle cart or dumpster.
I remember people using string bags when I was a little kid visiting my grandfather in New York City. And then in the mid-1970s when I was in England, people were using reusable bags in the grocery stores and places. The reason that I use them today is because I want to cut down on waste. And again, I find them really good for carrying heavier loads of groceries, kind of bulk products that I might be buying. I just find them really useful. And they're easy to take care of. I can wash the canvas bags and reuse them, for instance.
Small paper bags will still be free, and plastic bags for takeout food, dry cleaning, produce, meat, bulk foods, small hardware items, door hangers, and newspaper will still be allowed. Starting March 1st, large retailers over 7,500 square feet will no longer be able to use thin single-use carry-out bags. All other retailers will be required March 1st, 2014.
More than 30 years ago, Village Theater opened its doors to our community. We took a visit to learn more about this award-winning theater and how it contributes to our thriving art scene.
If I were a rich man, all day long I'd biddy-biddy-bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. Lord, who made the lion?
Meet the elite, where the underworld can meet the elite for he. Second Street.
About 33 years ago, we started Village Theater, and it's actually some friends of a director from Montana who moved to Issaquah, and he came over and thought this would be a great place to start a theater. I got involved that very first year, and we started it up, and it just sort of evolved. At first he directed all the plays, and I ran the business side, and then after a while he went off to California to get in the film business, and I ended up sort of taking the whole thing, and over time we built a new theater and then a scene shop and rebuilt our original theater, and it's been a wonderful road. Our mission is to really provide the community with a family kind of theater, and we look at family as that sort of ever-expanding definition of family, but something for the whole community to participate in and service the community. And we've expanded that over the years to include new musical development and training young people, not only for theater skills, but also just general life skills. I think Issaquah has been a great place for us. We're outside of the city of Seattle, and so we have a geographic. I think we see it as a big plus because we're the closest theater for many people. And as the bridge gets harder and harder to cross to get to Seattle, we think more people are going to come to Village Theater in Issaquah from all over the east side. Also, it's just it's a great community. It's a very supportive community, and a community that fits with our sort of family mission and training young people and all of that. It's been a great place to start from. Well, we're a big player, I think, in the national environment. We're part of the National Alliance for Musical Theater, and that organization is trying to nurture the development of musicals throughout the country and also internationally. And we're a big part of that organization, and one of the few organizations that has a year-round program of development of new musicals that goes from the infancy, from a commission of writers to write a new musical, or from a new musical that we hear about that's just in its infancy, all the way through to a main stage production, and we're able to do that because we have a full organization that does big shows on the main stage as well as the development, and it all fits together into a place in the national framework that I think is significant because, like, as I say, there's very few organizations that have that full range of new musical development. Well, I think for us, one of the differences is some of the larger musical theater companies are forced to rent their sets and then direct the shows around the sets that they rent. In our case, we design and build each set for our production, which gives the director and the designers the ability to really innovate that production. We don't stray too much from the original intent of the show, but we're able to reconceive the show physically with the production and enliven it and reimagine it in that way. Well, the rewards are certainly that we can attract designers and directors because they can vision a show completely, and we have the team that can put the show together to achieve that vision. So that's a real plus. The challenge is, of course, is that it's expensive, especially musicals. It's one of those expensive art forms because you have, instead of just one scene that sits there, like the mousetrap that we just completed, we'll have maybe 30 or 40 sets on stage and scenes that come in and out. And so we have to be innovative and we have to be able to do that. But it is costly, and so that has to be made up for by hopefully ticket sales and donations too. I think for those in our local community, it's just a very convenient and easy place to go to have a very good time and see quality productions. The parking's free, the trip is easy, and we're a friendly bunch of people with really good shows. So I think people will enjoy it once they take that first step and come to the theater.
Tradition, 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 tradition.
Just a few months ago, this area was covered in blackberry bushes, but thanks to local veterans, they've transformed it into beautiful open space.
So the City of Issaquah is partnering with the Washington Conservation Corps, which is a group funded through the state, and we're one of 3 pilot programs or government agencies that are participating in this program. So we have a crew of 5 members plus a crew leader, so we have 6 crew members total, and what they're doing is working in the parks and open space and enhancing the natural areas, and also doing a lot of urban forestry. And it's a job training for this group. Well, this is kind of neat because what this group is, it's comprised of a lot of veterans. So it's great job training for them, getting out and seeing what types of work we do in the cities and urban forests. This is no cost to the city, so all the work that they're doing is great. You know, we get they work 4 10-hour days, so a crew of 6 can get a lot of work done in a week's time. So what happens is the City of Issaquah gets them for a week, a month, for a year. And in a week's time, they can get a lot of work done. Where we're standing is a perfect example of where they've been working and what they've accomplished. This used to be, right where I'm standing right now, was blackberries that were 15 feet tall, and now you can see it's open and there's new trees planted behind me, so that's just within a few months worth of work.
This particular crew is actually a veterans crew, so there's 3 veterans on this team, and it's really a great way for some of them to carry on the kind of skills that they developed in the military into a civilian lifestyle, and also it's therapeutic for some guys to be out here in the woods. It is for me anyway, and so I think that has a huge part of it. Also, the team building aspect is really important to military people, and so that carries over as well. The vets, we have one guy that was in the Marine Corps and the Army, another Army soldier, and then I was in the Marine Corps myself, and they've served all over the world. I've been to 40 countries myself, and I know they've also been to a number of different places, so we have a lot of experience culturally, I guess, in that regard. So we come out, our bread and butter is removing invasive species, so we go out and we remove all the blackberry bushes, we take out the ivy is what we're doing here today. We do a lot of plantings. Recently we did a huge planting, about 700 plants. We create rain gardens, build culverts. We do a lot of pruning, street pruning, structural pruning of trees. Any kind of urban forestry work, we're involved in that. At the end of the day, we really get satisfied knowing that the work we're doing out here is something that's lasting, and that it's unlike a lot of jobs where you may not see the fruits of your labor instantly. Sometimes you do in this job, but what you know is that in the future, the work that you're doing here is going to carry on and build a healthy forest, and that's really a cool feeling.
That's it for this edition of Inside Issaquah. Thank you for joining us. Do you have a story idea for our next show? If so, please email us, and you may see it on the next edition of Inside Issaquah.